let's look at this Arctic news blog, which says Extinction in 2020. Personally, I think it's a little over the top, but let's go through it just to give people a little overview. This is from Tuesday, December 17th, 2019. Above image depicts how humans could go extinct as early as 2020. The image was created with NASA LODI 1880 November 2019 data. 0.78 C adjusted to reflect ocean air temperature as opposed to sea surface temperatures, to reflect higher polar temperature anomalies as opposed to leaving out missing data, quote unquote, and to reflect a 1750 baseline as opposed to the 1951 to 1980 baseline, with two trends added. Blue, a long-term trend based on January 1880 to November 2019 data. Red, a short-term trend based on January 2009 to November 2019 data to illustrate El Nino, La Nina variability and how El Nino could be the catalyst to trigger huge methane releases from the Arctic Ocean. So they're updating their last blog post about this particular scenario where El Nino creates such a higher temperature, higher ocean temperatures, enough so that it would cause a huge methane release and cause temperatures to spike in the short term. How was the above image created? Let's first look at the baseline. The NASA default baseline is 1951 to 1980. The added trend in the image below shows early 1900s data to be well below this 1951 to 1980 baseline. In this analysis, a 0.28 C adjustment was therefore used to reflect this, and to reflect a 1750 baseline, a further 0.3 C was used, adding up to a 0.58 C baseline adjustment. Furthermore, the NASA Land Ocean Temperature Index, or LOTI, uses sea surface temperatures, but ocean air temperatures seem more appropriate, which adds a further 0.1 C adjustment. Also, when comparing current temperatures with pre-industrial ones, it's hard to find data for the polar areas. Treating these data as missing would leave important heating out of the picture. After all, the polar areas are heating up much faster than the rest of the world, and especially so in the Arctic region. Therefore, a further 0.1 C adjustment was used to reflect higher polar temperature anomalies, resulting in the above-mentioned 0.78 C adjustment. Finally, the red trend illustrates El Nino La Nina variability as discussed in a recent post. An El Nino is forecast for 2020, and this could be the catalyst to trigger huge methane releases from the Arctic Ocean. The image below shows El Nino La Nina variability going back to 1950 added to the NOAA monthly temperature anomaly. As said, the Arctic region is heating up much faster than the rest of the world. There are several reasons why this is the case. Decline of the sea ice makes that less sunlight gets reflected back into space and that more sunlight is reaching the Arctic Ocean. This also causes more water vapor and clouds to appear over the Arctic Ocean. Furthermore, Arctic sea ice has lost most of its thicker multi-year ice that used to extend meters below the surface, consuming huge amounts of ocean heat entering the Arctic Ocean along ocean currents from the North Atlantic and North Pacific Oceans. The above-mentioned feedbacks, albedo changes and more water vapor and clouds, contribute to higher temperatures in the Arctic. As the temperature difference between the North Pole and the equator narrows, the jet streams change, which can lead to further Arctic heating, i.e., higher temperatures of the atmosphere, higher temperatures of the water flowing into the Arctic Ocean from rivers, and higher temperatures of the inflow of water from the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. And as above image shows, the temperature rise of the oceans on the northern hemisphere is accelerating. This constitutes a critical tipping point i.e., there are indications that a rise of 1C will result in most of the sea ice underneath the surface to disappear. The sea ice used to consume the inflow of warm, salty water from the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So while there may still be sea ice left at the surface, since low air temperatures will cause freezing of water surface, the latent heat buffer has gone. As long as there is sea ice, this will keep absorbing heat as it melts, so the temperature will not rise at the sea surface. The amount of energy absorbed by melting ice is as much as it takes to heat an equivalent mass of water from 0 to 80 Celsius. The danger is that as Arctic Ocean heating accelerates further, hot water will reach sediments at the Arctic Ocean seafloor and trigger massive methane eruptions, resulting in a huge abrupt global temperature rise. As discussed in an earlier post, a 3C rise will likely suffice to cause extinction of humans. The image below from an earlier post explains the speed at which warming elements can strike, i.e., its rise could for a large part occur within years and in some cases within days, and even immediately. They're talking about the falling away of the aerosol masking effect. And also the effect of water vapor. So water vapor and the lack of aerosol masking would cause heating to happen immediately or within days. Loss of September Arctic ice within years, seafloor methane within years, more greenhouse gas releases within years. And that's about the end of that article. I'll link all of these articles